Be here today, and I have the good fortune to introduce our Vision Award recipient. And I wanted to share with you the first time that I met Joel Anderson, but I can't remember. I just know that I've known him all of my professional life in Little Rock, Arkansas. We met for the first time in the mid-1970s, and I'm sure that we were working on one of Joel's inventions, which no doubt has become a great success. I just can't recall what it was. Joel Anderson's vision, values, and guiding principles have achieved remarkable results for UALR and Little Rock. Results that will benefit both for decades, both the school and the larger community. I think that when Joel and Ann arrived at UALR in 1971, he didn't necessarily aspire to be the UALR chancellor. I think like all of us at that age, they focused on family and home, and with Ann's steady support, Joel advanced professionally through roles as political scientist, teacher, department chair, college dean, provost, and chancellor. Joel and UALR advanced and progressed together. He initiated numerous master's and doctoral degrees, founded the graduate school, founded the Institute for Economic Advancement, the University District Partnership, the Institute on Race and Ethnicity. He led the establishment and recognition of UALR as a research university and as a community-engaged university. He expanded the campus and facilities for student housing, student services, engineering, nanotechnology, research and development, energy conservation, and the arts. At every step in his professional development, he had a vision for teaching and pulling his load within the organization. Always, he had strong values and principles that guided his course. I believe that Joel is what's known as a servant leader. He has a natural desire to serve others first, and then he aspires to lead. He focuses on whether those he serves are growing and developing personally and professionally. He encourages others to grow as leaders. He values and considers diverse opinions. You can count on him to keep his commitments and stay true to his word and to expect others to do the same. He doesn't ask people to do things that he wouldn't do for himself. He thinks for the long term, and he acts with humility and grace every time, consistently giving credit when and where credit is due. And maybe most important, he has a sharp wit and a great sense of humor. Today we are recognizing Joel's vision for UALR and the community and his ability to realize that vision. I'm honored to present the 2016 World Services for the Blind Vision Award to Dr. Joel Anderson.
That was a Tiffany box, I guess you noticed. Well, thank you, Ron, for an overly generous introduction. I appreciate it very much, and I must say that after hearing the presentations before Ron's, those that preceded me, that I am humbled by the stories that we have heard and also inspired by them, and I have no doubts that that's true of everyone in the room. I know our time is short, and I want to respect that, but there are a number of people here that I must recognize and thank. And then at the end, I'm going to say a number of things about World Services for the Blind. I appreciate Ron Copeland. He led our University District Initiative for a number of years. Also at the table with Ann and me today is Barrett Allen, who has been a primary leader of the University District also, and with Joe Busby, a citizen and neighborhood leader in the area, who's been very important to what we've accomplished in that partnership. All of us working together with a lot of other partners, including the city, to make our part of the city a good place to live and to be a good neighbor for such wonderful organizations as World Services for the Blind. We also have representatives here today from the UALR Children International, Ryan Davis, the director, and Paula Rogers, who's headed up the education programs. And I don't know whether you know it or not, you've seen Children International commercials and advertisements on television through the years. But what you may not know is that a decade and a half or so ago, they closed down all of their projects in the United States, save one. And that was UALR Children International. And they have been so enthusiastic about that they have given it significant support through the years. And all of us can be very proud of Children International. And Ryan and Paula, thank you for your leadership of Children International. And then also at our table today, we have Betsy Hart, who heads up the Trojan Food Pantry. And as we're gathered here in this room, and we've had a good meal, and somebody may even have had a bit of a nap in the last few minutes, it probably doesn't occur to us that there are people in our city that tonight will go to bed hungry. There are parents who don't make enough money to provide good food for their children, and that's true even of some of our university students and employees. So Betsy, a big thanks to you and all who contribute to that project. I'm going to note some others here. I won't ask them to stand. That takes a little time, although it would certainly be appropriate. But first of all, my wife, Ann, of 52 years, you heard it right. On any occasion like this, I have to say to Ann the biggest thanks of all for the good things that have been a part of my life through the years. And I also want, maybe I should digress here a moment. I've gotten a bunch of questions about how retirement is going. And so I'm sure that's on the minds of many of you, and I just want you to know that I recommend it. It's been going very well. Now, I did hear Ann tell someone earlier when they asked her how it was going that it was too soon to say. So you've got two judgments there, and it's only been 4 months, so why don't you ask me in a year or so, or ask her in a year or so. But I am enjoying, and Lynn Hamilton will appreciate this, taking all the time I want in the morning to drink coffee and read the newspaper and obsess on the presidential election and meditate deeply on the World Series, which is certainly a historic event. So from my point of view, retirement is going very well. But there are others in the room here today that certainly honor World Services for the Blind with their presence, but also mine, and I want to thank them. I should, if we had more time, I'd give a bunch of shout-outs by individual names, but a whole bunch of my former UALR colleagues here, including most of the senior leadership of the institution, as well as some that were near and dear to me in other capacities through the years. There are present and former members of the Board of Visitors. There are friends from the world of 4-H, have been very important to me in my life. From our church, from Rotary, we have individuals and businesses and law firms that have supported the university in many ways through the years. And all across the room, we have a lot of good Little Rock Trojan fans. So it's good to have all of you here. Thank you for your presence and for your support of World Services for the Blind. You know, I was thinking when the reference was made about Roy Cumpy earlier that I had the opportunity on one occasion to spend a little bit of time with Roy Cumpy. I was a very young dean of the UALR graduate school at the time, and Dr. Larry Dickerson, who had joined UALR not too long before that to read our very wonderful orientation and mobility teaching program. We got on a plane, and also Roy Cumpy did as well, to go to Washington. And Larry and I were going to try to buttress the case for a grant application for some federal funding for our program that had been submitted, but we got to ride up there with Roy Cumpy that Larry was already well acquainted with. I was not. His son Peter is here with us today. It's great to recognize his and Trudy's presence. But in any event, had a few hours there on the plane at the airport ahead of time, and then afterwards to interact some with this remarkable person. And I recall so clearly his dignity. I certainly knew him as a person who had significant status within the state of Arkansas as well as nationally and around the world in terms of blind education and rehabilitation and employment training. So that's a very special memory to me. And of course, WSB has been an important partner for the university through the years in that orientation and mobility training program, as well as in many, many other ways. So let me just say a few words about WSB, and then I will be done here. I think that we need to keep in mind that WSB is a rare asset for our community and for our state. And I want to give you 3 reasons why you can feel good that you've already given support for WSB, and there are reasons for you to do more of it in the future. First of all, the reference to Roy Cumpy allows me to make the point that WSB is homegrown. It was an original, and it was unique, and it was something that was and is noted across the nation and around the world. 58 countries, I believe, was the figure that we heard earlier. That people, lives all over the world have been touched by Roy Cumpy's vision, and then what all of the people who have worked with him have contributed and accomplished through the years. And I don't know about you, I like to support a lot of good causes, but when they're homegrown, I think that makes them special. So let's remember that. It was pioneered right here in Little Rock. We can take special pride in it. Reason number 2 is an organization dedicated to education and rehabilitation. World Services for the Blind is an enabler in a good sense. Sometimes we use that term in a negative sense, but in this case, all good. And you have evidence of that in Shana's testimony earlier today, as well as in Liz's song and Sharon's wonderful report and statement. It's an enabler that enables individual human beings to advance, to open doors to new opportunities and a brighter future. And WSB has a wonderful track record. I think the figure we heard earlier was that 13,000 lives, and then how many have been touched by them, or the better because of it. Every person who completes a program at WSB not only boasts a new level of independence and confidence, but if you think about it, they're also an instant inspiration to a lot of other people to do more and to make things better. And reason number 3, there's a lot of goodness across our land today, but there's a lot of meanness too. And the best antidote for that meanness is to overwhelm it with goodness. And when you strengthen the hands of World Services for the Blind, you make a contribution to that. It's a very good thing to do. A few of you in the room will recall that there once upon a time was a comic strip, Little Abner, by Al Capp. And Dog Patch USA was, of course, where all those colorful characters, lived their lives and entertained all of us in the comic strips. But Mammy Yoakum, who was the mother, she smoked a corn cob pipe. That would certainly be politically incorrect today. I'm not sure what Al Caps would do about that. But from time to time, in a variety of situations, she would kind of look up and, with her index finger up and a certain conviction in her eye, she would say, "Good is more powerful than evil because it's nicer." And I have thought about that a lot through the years, and I really think Mammy Yoakum was on to something like that. Good is more powerful than evil because it's nicer. And whether that's the key or not, certainly good is something that we all need to be promoting. And I submit to you that Mammy Yoakum was on to something, and we need to do all we can to expand the good because it's more powerful than evil. Now, I know that I'm praising the choir today because you are supporters of World Services for the Blind. And the fact of the matter is you deserve to be praised for what you're doing here today, and I don't think you'll leave having any doubts about that given the program. You've done a good thing. You're doing a good thing in supporting World Services for the Blind, and you need to keep doing a good thing. I'll tell you in conclusion that I am quite certain there are other people that deserve this award more than I did, but nonetheless, I'm grateful for it. I appreciate it very much. And I want to tell you that I really feel like I'm in good company today with all of you, given what brings us together here, our interest in and support for World Services for the Blind. So let's leave here and let's do what we can to advance the good across the land. And let's support this remarkable homegrown institution, World Services for the Blind. Let's support the wonderful work of World Services for the Blind, which enables and opens doors to brighter futures for all those people it nobly serves.